Hello and thank you for clicking on another one of my videos. I am Screen Scene Guru, and today we're talking about the amazing box office opening of Venom Last Dance. That's the third Venom movie. It just came out, like 2 days ago on Thursday, and it's already made 22 million. And that was on opening day.
That's really good.
Yeah, so really exciting numbers to see from Sony, Columbia Pictures Entertainment. It's like association with Marvel, but it's like a spin-off kind of Elseworlds. But we're just talking about the excitement we have. We're gonna go see it probably in like a couple days. We're just waiting to see. Um, so yeah, let's. You guys got any questions about the movie or anything you guys want to ask?
So we were kind of talking about how close this Venom is to the actual comic book character, and we kind of got into a discussion about how they're going in a different direction, maybe, with this character. Let's kind of talk about that.
Okay, yeah, we definitely got to see from some of the trailers and some of the advertising, even though we haven't seen a lot of advertising from the film, that this was going to be like the final Venom movie, and I think kind of like the most comic book accurate they've been trying to play up. And some of the villains, the newly introduced villains in the last couple of years, like Null, was introduced, I think, in like 2015, so relatively new, maybe not too familiar unless you've been reading modern Venom comics and maybe playing some of the games, like Spider-Man 2. That would kind of fill in some of the storytelling. Yeah.
So do you think long-term fans are going to be like really pleased by how this movie was done and how it came out? Do you think they're going to be stoked about it, or are they going to be disappointed?
I'm hoping that a lot of critics and like early reviews are saying it's one of the best Venom films out of the three. So I'm hoping that this is going to do really well, a lot like the first film, even though a lot of people were kind of disappointed by the second. But I liked it a lot. So yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be really brought back by this third one, like the first one did.
Well, now I heard that this was going to be the last movie with Eddie in it, right? The person that has Venom in it.
Yes, I also heard this is going to be the last Tom Hardy Eddie character in the franchise. They're also teasing that it could be Venom could come back potentially as a new character, setting up the possibility of him meeting Spider-Man, but still kind of teasing the audience.
So that would be like the third time that Venom has been introduced, right? Because we saw him first in one of Toby's Spider-Mans.
Toby.
Right? And who played Venom in that one?
I'm not exactly
Venom was
familiar
Topher.
with it. Yeah,
It was
Topher from
Topher.
that
Topher
70s
Graves.
show. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I guess you could say that Sam Raimi third Tobey Maguire was like Elseworlds. It was still Marvel, but it was before in the MCU. But with the crossover with the latest Spider-Man, what was it? No Way Home.
Uh-huh.
Now they can say multiple Venoms in the multiverse. They could say any Venom could show up in the MCU.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So kind of like Spider-Man No Way Home, with like all the possibilities are out there. Wow.
Exactly. Any more questions?
Let's just keep talking about the possibilities.
Yeah. Okay.
So I saw, and I mean, this is just like a pre-movie, just a fun video just to kind of talk about the possibilities of what the movie's going to be like. So I saw in one of the previews that he's like turning into a bunch of different animals. Like, is that Tony, or is that the character that's doing this, or is that when Venom's like out of, or he doesn't have his host anymore? What's happening when that's going on? Do you know?
Right. Good question. I think a lot of it is a split between we're seeing Venom trying new things, like taking on like different creature hosts, but also we get to see him do like multiple tasks, like not just carrying objects and maybe jumping from like tall buildings or whatever. We get to see there's a sequence in the trailer where he's sticking to a plane when it's outside, very Tom Cruise in the air.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, doing stuff. He even makes a joke about it. So that's very fun. We get to see new monsters, new creatures that are hunting him. That are cool from the comics.
Oh, okay.
So exciting things there.
So like new villains. New villains then are going to be introduced.
Yep, all new villains, I think. Yeah.
Right on.
Cool.
So where does Venom fit into Marvel's plan? Is there a plan for Venom to be in the Marvel future?
So yeah, another good question. I think with the recent reveal, Sony's had a new story recently out about their 45-day rental release on some of these projects. Like Madam Web had a 45-day release.
Now, what does that mean? They
Basically,
shot the whole thing in 45 days.
not the shooting or production of the film, but just the release schedule. So they have a date, right, that they have to release it in theaters, right, a certain mark. But you notice a lot of things aren't in theaters as long. Now
Right.
they're really really
Yeah.
quick, not even a month sometimes, just
Yeah.
like 3 weeks they're out.
Okay.
Well, Sony's just setting a deadline, but 45 days after a theatrical release, Marvel can distribute these projects now for Sony, where before it was only Sony could have them.
Oh, I see.
And now I think what they're doing, which is really smart, they're giving Marvel control of their characters again, where before Sony only had control, and Sony's not been doing too hot. We see with
Right.
the last couple projects, Morbius was
Oh my God,
we all hope Morbius would be good, and it was no blood in a vampire movie.
Yeah,
So it
that
was-
movie was
That was strange.
so disappointing. That movie was very disappointing. But the one that was most disappointing, I think, from Marvel so far has been that Madam Web movie.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen it, so I can't
It
comment.
was not great. The story just wasn't there. It was very segmented.
Yeah.
The characters weren't developed enough.
Mhm.
Just a very strange idea.
Yeah,
I
it
guess.
seemed like it was very. It seemed like it was done like very quickly. It seemed more like it should have been a television show,
I think it would have been better as a
Yeah,
television show.
so they could
Yeah.
maybe flesh out the characters a little more and kind of get to know who they are. The way it was, like the scene where the girl gets on top of the table and is dancing,
I saw from the trailer.
Yeah.
and she's like in this like hick place in the middle of nowhere. That is not a scenario that I think would
No.
happen. But
Kind of breaks
Yeah.
believability.
yeah, it just seemed ridiculous. So
And that's kind of how we've all felt with the Sony franchise
mhm.
spin-off Spider-Man universe. No Spider-Man, but all the Spider-Man villains. We're hoping Craven is going to be good. In, I believe, November, they're going to release it sometime near the holidays. But yes, so big props for Tom Hardy. We know that he's been working this gig for 6 years,
Gosh.
putting in the work, and he looks great in the role. So we're hoping that he's going to get big props from this, and that Venom will return in Marvel as potentially a new character, not Eddie. So that's exciting for Spider-Man fans to see maybe in Spider-Man 4, which we've heard they're working on. There's a script. Apparently,
Wow.
they're writing it. It's not finished, and I think they're getting a director because they don't have the one that did the last trilogy. He walked away and is doing like Star Wars or something. He's doing
Oh wow.
something big. So they've got to look for a director, basically.
Do you think they're going to take these symbiotes and do something like with them, like make them a bigger focus in the future? Because I think they could maybe even do a show with like the different symbiotes if they wanted to. That's a possibility. Like, there's a lot they could do with that.
Yeah, good question. And that's been kind of pondered for the last kind of films, and because we got to see in what was the last Thor, which was kind of critically, debatable whether people liked it or not. Thor: Love and Thunder, which I liked it.
I loved it. It was cute.
Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty good. And the villain that they had, Gore the God Butcher, his sword, the ebony blade, that was like a weapon of Null. It created those creatures.
Oh, was it really?
That's a connection.
Those creatures from the movie. Yeah, everyone was like, they look strangely like Venom. Well, they
So
were
were
Venom.
they
They
symbiotes?
were, yes, they were symbiotes. But they couldn't
Oh,
say that
wow.
because it was Marvel, not Sony.
Okay.
And they own the rights. So
That's
they just
cool.
made them crazy
Okay.
creatures.
That's kinda cool,
So it was
yeah.
like, okay. But we knew what they were. Comic fans knew what that was. And now we're getting it. Full-fledged, full story, which is cool to see. It just took us some time.
Right. I think that would be cool if they made that into something more and kind of developed those characters because they're such color. Venom himself is, even though he's black, in color. He's super colorful in like how he acts and like the crazy things
Right.
he does, right?
Right.
I think the other ones would be just as wild in their own ways.
Right. We kind of pulled them up earlier, and we had a image up of like just the different types of symbiotes: the green, toxin, and the blues and purples. There's whites, anti-venom, which some people have seen from the games. You know, Spider-Man 2, that are really fun. They get inside other symbiotes and change them, and they can mix together, and it's just really cool art design that they're really paying homage to the graphic design of the artists from the comics. I believe his name's like McFarlane, something Stan McFarlane. He was a big fan of Stan Lee's work. He worked for Marvel for years. He created the Venom character, and you can really tell with like all the web design work that was like, oh, what a crazy explosion going on. And he helped with Fantastic Four and other comics with their art design. When Spider-Man met the Fantastic Four, was a great like mix of both of their comics. It was a great collab in the 60s, I think, which was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But any more questions, guys, for Q&A of Venom Last Dance?
Venom
this,
Last
this
Dance.
is longest Q&A we've had on the channel.
Only Q&A
It's
we've
the
had on
only
the
Q&A.
channel.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness, it's our first.
No, I think I don't have any more questions. I think
Yeah,
it's
we
gonna
just
be
need to go
fun.
see it now.
Yeah,
Yep.
We
I
gotta
think it's gonna
go.
be-
Yeah.
yeah.
We gotta go and see.
Yeah. Check out the channel for our review coming soon, guys. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
Alrighty.